In my previous video covering the reveal for Arknights Endfield, I had said that I wanted to see a little more combat because not a lot of it was featured in that video. Well, now it's finally time that we can take more of a look, and not only at the combat, but at a boss fight itself. I am so stoked to take a look at this. Let's dive in. Shout out to Shield for, Shout out to Shield for providing this video. Full video will be linked in the description below. Okay, so this looks like a new zone. We're like going down into the depths. I wonder if it's like connected to that previous zone as kind of like part of like the vertical slice that they've put together for kind of like the alpha testing and stuff that they're working through right now. I would assume so. It seems to be the most like efficient way to go about doing that. So I'm interested to see what this boss looks like. Here we go. Ooh, cinematics. Let's go. Oh. Ooh. What is that? Wow, okay. I'm really liking the otherworldly nature of this boss. Like, what is this thing? Okay, hold on. Let's analyze a little bit here. I was very distracted by the boss himself. Okay. I do like how there's that pause to switch between the characters. That's a nice little addition. Okay. And it looks like you can control your party skills from being selected on any character. You can kind of just like call on those skills there too. Looks okay. Man, I wish I could read Chinese. I have no idea what any of that says. Yeah, I definitely am getting like some like Final Fantasy like real-time combat, kind of like real-time like RTS combat, if that makes sense. I just said real-time twice. Because it's not fully action RPG like hack and slash like in PGR. Like there's something more. Holy! I love that. I love how big those were. I love the range that those took up. That is awesome. I love seeing that come out of the boss there. Now, again, something just to keep in mind before we dive back in, this is an alpha test, so I'm looking for little things that I'm hoping to see a little bit more polish on. Like, for example, I don't know how I feel about like the health bar UI. I don't know if I fully understand what's even being communicated on that bottom bar, if that's supposed to be like an armor, a super armor or some kind, but yeah, I don't know. Let's keep going. It's changing its structure there. I really like the animation tells. Oh, that was a nice animation. That was pretty clean. And it looked like a very like big like stone pillar just blasted out of there. Very like Zhongli like. The other thing I'm noticing here too is the attacks are hitting hard. Which is like good, because it's looking like some degree, like pretty serious degree of difficulty here. Okay, health bar's almost gone. Are we gonna get a phase 2? Looks like it. Okay. Yeah, like I'm getting like almost like a vague little bit of like, not quite eldritch horror, but kind of like that vein from this boss here. With it being like this like such like unknowable beast. Oh. Ooh, that was fun. So it looks like just like a fire burst AoE. I'm also liking too, okay, like progression in the combat here. We're seeing mobs now spawning based on those attacks. We didn't see that AoE coverage there before. So we are seeing like an increase in difficulty on like the stages there too. That looks good. Oh, nice. That feels so near Automata to me. I know they didn't make it up. It's not like they invented it, but that's like what that like calls on for me there. And I like that. Also, that windows popping up was not me. That was in the video. Well, I love that meteor attack. Oh, and they've got shockwaves now. See, I love that. I love the kind of like progression of mechanics That is a really cool way of doing that. Like you get the meteors, and then now the meteors being amplified with these like shockwave rings that you've got to be able to jump over. And so while still being kind of like what feels like real-time turn-based combat, it doesn't like feel like really clunky. Like this looks pretty smooth overall, to be honest. It's a very interesting like style, like the way the skills and everything work, but it's not like a hack and slash like action RPG in a traditional sense of the word. I will say the animations, they've really like, they're looking really smooth so far, and like they stand out enough in combat. I think I'd like to see a little more flair on them, like to be like a little more memorable. Like something that comes to mind is like Raiden Shogun's animation. Like you're never gonna forget that the first time you see her alt animation and in the combat afterwards. All the meteors again. Let's go. I love that. Oh, you know, I don't know if I noticed that the color changed on the boss there as well. Yeah, the animation tells like to show that like he's broken and stuff. Like it's good. It's good. It's incorporated well. I love seeing the party members in there doing combat as well. Because again, I think of something like Genshin where like when you've got like a hyper carry character and the three other characters are just supports, so you don't see them on field as much. This is a great way that you kind of work around that, where you have the characters out there with you, that even if they're not like a hyper character that you want to like main in that way, you're still getting the value. Because like, look, this is going to be a gotcha, guys. Oh, let's go. That also feels very Nier Automata, like turning to like a little bit of a bullet hell there for a minute. Love that. Oh my gosh. That felt very 2008 Fire and Malaser. Oh my gosh. Alright, he's cloaked. Oh, fully invisible now. He had that little bit of like a tell there on the blue. There, that blue kind of like tell. Or what's it called? Telegraph. The blue telegraph there that you can kind of see where he still is. I wonder how much damage... I haven't noticed how much damage the party members have been taking while being in combat. But I think something I have noticed... Oh, gosh. See the progression of difficulty. Now in like that third stage. They're changing it up again. I have... Noticing now, too, that the amount that the boss has been hitting for, like, has really showed a need for a healer, too. Which is like really great. Oh my gosh, I got caught up by those lasers again. Guys, this is an intense fight. I'm loving this. Like it's going from like one action to the next, like in terms of like the boss's attacks. There's not a lot of downtime where the boss is just like sitting there doing nothing. Like it's going from like the next one attack to the next attack. I love seeing that. Like this looks like a really, really engaging fight. Like, oh man. It sucks that they're still only going into like alpha right now. They're kind of first like technical testing. It's not like a beta or anything. Like, so there's still a lot to go. One thing I am wondering, and maybe it's this boss fight, but I noticed it a little bit on the first reveal that we saw, is the overall like art style and color palette. They are definitely going for that more muted tone. They're definitely adding a lot of flair with the effects, but I wonder if they're going to kind of run into the same problem that Wuthering Waves is, and that like general audiences might not love the kind of those like more muted tones, but maybe the Arknights demographics a little bit different. Because I understand any game can choose whatever art direction it wants. Not every game needs to be Genshin Impact in terms of like its art direction and art design. But the reality is that those bright, vibrant, more stylized anime games do well. And like the market wants what the market wants, and those are a lot of the games that are having a lot of success. So I understand there might be some people that don't like the idea and they're like, no, I don't want Arknights to be all bright and childish, but like, that's the reality of the situation here, right? Just looking at the progression of the attacks there too. I haven't seen anything drastic since we've hit the 3rd stage here. Oh, that's awesome. It's almost like baited them in for the meteor. That was great. Man, I wonder if this is gonna be like kind of like the Genshin like world boss equivalent, where like you're gonna have to like fight this boss like weekly for materials, because if so, this is a long fight. This is a long fight to have to clear weekly, but I don't know. It's gonna be, maybe people want something a little more engaging. I can understand that. Like, I'm just having the quick thought here. Like, I know the thing, generally speaking, about like gacha games is like most are side games because they will have an artificial mechanic at the very least to kind of like stop you, like whether it be like a stamina system of some kind, or if it's like an idle game, like you just still need to wait to get enough resources to level your characters more. Like, there's always going to be something that's going to kind of get in the way to kind of turn it into a side game, whether you like it or not. Or you're gonna, you know, as a service, you're going to catch up on the content and then kind of go into a maintenance mode while you're waiting for new content to drop. So I wonder if this is going to kind of suffer the same fate. Maybe that's just, you know, a part of the genre. We'll see. But I know I have heard a lot of people floating around that they want this to be like a main game for them. They really want to be able to like go hard on it. So I hope they have some more of that I would be interested to see an opportunity to go more long form with a game that doesn't just turn into a side game that you're like maintaining on the side. Okay, jumping back in here, we're getting pretty low on the health bar now. I did jump ahead. Remember, full video link is going to be in the description. And oh, what just happened? He like one shot at that. What is, oh, they're healing. Just quickly healing everybody. Oh. Oh. Oh, was that on? That was on them? The weird, like the lace that was on the outfit that I haven't noticed before. What is that? What is happening? Let's go. Oh my gosh. If animations like this are frequent throughout the game, like that's gonna like push it up there. That was, oh, loved that. One of the complaints I had before was a disconnect between kind of like the face and the overall art style when looking at them in the menu. It's not as bad in game, but I don't know, there's still something that's just like a little bit uncanny with it that, I don't know. I mean, like, look, this is an alpha. For an alpha, this is fantastic so far still, but yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's still really interesting looking at the expressions there. Also on the talking felt a little bit stiff is probably the best way I can put that. As I said before, guys, full video is going to be linked in the description down below. Final thoughts on it are definitely going to be that I think for an alpha, I think this is really exciting. I think we're seeing some great progress on it. I think some of the concerns I had from the reveals that, you know, happened like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, I think a lot of them have really started to like, you know, be worked away or washed away by like the stuff that's been coming out. And I'm really excited to see how more of this game kind of progresses and it's continued to be refined kind of throughout this, you know, alpha and beta progress that we're going to see. Again, I think the faces need like a little bit more expression here. I think like this is like a AAA kind of contending gacha game that comes in kind of a post Genshin world, I guess you could say, where Genshin really has set a new standard for gacha games. I'm not calling this a Genshin killer, just everybody chill for a sec. I'm just saying Genshin has set a new standard for gacha games and what they can be. And so it's hard not to kind of make some side-by-side comparisons there. So I definitely would still like to see it really continue to like push that and to like push the boundaries on the game there. But like I said, this is an alpha, so we'll see what comes out more in the future. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you next time.